maybe we could start with our origin story.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, so you tell it the way you remember it.
There'll be two point of views.
Yeah, no, you tell it first.
Oh, I mean, basically, what I remember specifically, and this is funny as hell saying this now, but it was a random ass weekend. It was I don't know how this happened, but there was this Jewish girl on campus. We had like hella classes together. And like we would literally just text here and there. And then out of nowhere, we was like, all right, let's go like do something. But we didn't call it a date. But like the second that I picked her up, like I knew, like she was fully dressed up, makeup and all this other shit. And I'm looking down and I can't even like hide the fact that like I'm dressed up too. So it's legit. And I don't know, it was supposed to be some small shit, but we went like mini golfing, dinner, a movie. We ended up doing like hella shit. And it's getting late. It was like 1 a.m. My guy Daniel from campus was like, what are you doing? Like super random. And I was like, I'm actually out on a date right now. Like, what's good? And he was like, bro, we're at the apartment, which I've told you before. I have experiences with the apartment where I'm like, where the fuck am I going?
The apartment just,
I don't.
Like, it's
It's
just
hard to explain.
It's just such a college campus bar just located right dead center in the city.
Yeah, it's perfect. But like, if you've never been before and someone's like, meet me at the apartment, your first thought is like, what apartment?
Yeah. Yeah, it's very, yeah.
And like, dude, we're in college. So like, obviously, apartments, like you're thinking, nigga, everyone lives in an apartment.
Yeah.
So which apartment?
Yeah. You're going to have to be more specific with me, buddy. Give me an address, the intersection. Like,
literally, like some kind of more detail. So regardless of all that, we end up going to the apartment, and as I'm walking in, a little background information. We knew we both worked at Best Buy, but in reality, we talked in passing. Maybe we might have waved hi, said what's up, but nothing serious.
Yeah.
No deeper conversations. We didn't have each other on social media, nothing like that. And I'm walking in, and from this is my point of view. You might have a different like story than mine.
Oh yeah, my story is let's just say I'm happy we started with yours.
I walk in and like I recognize you, but I don't know you like that. And bro, the first fucking thing you say, no hesitation, you go, "Don't tell Belen I'm here."
Belen being the name of our then boss.
And in my head, I'm fucking dying. I was like, why would I even do that? That doesn't even make sense. And I was like, all right, for sure. You're like, yeah, I told her I was out of town. So like,
yeah, I literally already had called her and told her that I was out of town. And the reason why I did that was because I was on the other side of town. I don't remember where. It was the Aragon Ballroom, I think. And we saw Kid Cudi, right? And yeah, it was me and my good buddy Jeff, and so we're there in the concert, and towards the end of it, I guess I'm telling my story now. The lights start to go up, and the beginning of The Life of Pablo, that first song, not the first song, the second song, Father Stretch My Hands, right? Mm-hmm. And the lights are going up, so you think like, oh, they're just playing a song as people like walk out, right?
Right.
And then the lights start to flash, and you just hear, "Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Kanye West," who like hadn't been seen since the Pablo tour at the time. This is like at the end of 2017, I believe.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, it was at the end of 2017. My God, dude, it was the loudest thing I have ever heard in my life. And originally, what was supposed to have happened was I was supposed to leave the concert immediately, go home, go to bed, and open the store the next day for my first opening shift.
No, that's not gonna happen.
And then Kanye West came out, and I'm like, oh fuck, I'm not gonna be able to sleep tonight, am I? I saw you, and I had already called Belen and been like, oh, I'm in Wisconsin, sorry. And I saw you, and I'm like, oh, let me stop this from happening. And I did, and we became best friends, and and now we're the Unpaid Nobodies.
It happened really quickly.
Yeah, it
was a weird encounter. There was like a month where we only sent each other memes.
Yeah.
Like, we literally only sent each other. No actual words were being sent to each other.
Yeah, no actual words.
And one day, probably either you or I, one of us just brought up music and it took off.
I think we started talking about music almost immediately because I told you I came from a Kid Cudi Kanye concert.
Oh yeah, I probably would have.
And you were like, "What the fuck did you just say to me?" And I was like, "Yeah, man, I just saw Kanye West get brought out by Kid Cudi," and you were like, "You're like, I'm gonna tell everyone that you were here. Fuck you." Like, and then, like, I remember seeing it, like, 3 days later, and you were like, dude, like, how was it? Like, because we didn't talk, like, really at the bar the first time. Because, like, I was with my friends, and, like, truth be told, this is, like, one of the other nights in my life I've blacked out. So, like, I don't really remember exactly where I was.
It's a good night to black out.
It was
a lot happened.
like, I remember, like, meeting you, and then from there, like, everything else is a blur. I'm pretty sure I wound up at Exit. If you know what I'm talking about, hell yeah, you're a cool person. Thanks for listening, Jeff. Like,
I feel like that alone is a good symbol for our actual friendship.
Yeah.
Right before you black out, you see me.
Yeah.
I'm the last beacon of light, like, hey, have fun. You're gone.
Which as opposed to, like, whenever you're about to do something bad, and I'm like, you should do it. You should do this.
Yeah, I don't know why. It seems like everybody is like, oh, you should be that person.
Yeah. But this is the Unpaid Nobodies Podcast. I think we should actually introduce ourselves now. We've been recording for like 7 minutes already.
Really? It did not seem that long.
Yeah, no. Yeah, no, we've been recording for like 7 minutes. That's crazy. This is gonna be easy. This podcasting shit ain't shit.
It's like,
fuck you, Joe Rogan. Look at this.
Well, he got canceled for other reasons. That's all.
I can lie about the vaccine too. It gives you wings and it tastes of caramel.
All right, Trump.
But we're here. I thought that story was like a good point of context because, like, I think it's fair to say that you and me have been in a 5-year conversation about the status of hip hop every day.
Yeah.
Is it every day?
Literally.
It's
just
every
about
day.
every day.
Yeah, it's every day. So, like, we already have our ear to the ground just in order to have these conversations that you and me have all the time, and we've just been thinking, like, we should take like an hour every week and just talk with microphones, and we can put it online, and like someone might listen to it, and someone might think we're cool.
Yeah, honestly, it's just something that seems
like just a natural extension of what we were already doing. So that's what this is, and that's what you are listening to, the Royal You. Not you, Purvis.
This is the Unpaid Nobodies.
This is the Unpaid Nobodies. That is the name of the podcast.
We've had this name for a while now.
Yeah, I think we literally, like, I wish I could figure out, like, exactly where the name came from.
Oh, dude. I don't know. That's a throwback. I feel like we've had this name and we've messed around with it for quite some time.
Yeah, we've been calling ourselves the Unpaid Nobodies for, like, several years. We've had several iterations. Yeah, like
we've had our own tracks that
we've been like, look, we were either going to be a rap group or this, like, and neither of us are cool enough to be a rap. This is where we're at.
But it's either we rap or we go to the league.
Either you rap or you go to the league. That is a very specific album.
You know, I still have that basketball like thing that they sold from the website.
Oh yeah, from the cover.
Yeah, I still have that.
Do you want us to just start, like, run down, like, new albums, new music videos, and singles?
What I've found so far, I guess starting off with the albums, we have Saba out of Chicago releasing a few good things.
And that was, like, with that had, like, a movie aspect to it, right?
Yes. It's got a whole concept to it, so I am very excited to dive into it. I'll be honest, I haven't.
Yeah, neither have I. With the whole, like, starting a podcast thing, like, I haven't been able to give it the time it deserves. You know, it's definitely something I want to, because, like, Saba is someone I've been listening to since way back. Like, one of my good friends went to St. Joe's High School with him. Shout out Jaquil. Like, you know.
He's very exciting.
Yeah, so he's a very exciting artist. He's very accessible. And, like, I just want to make sure when I do give his music a listen, I give it the respect it deserves.
I'm in the same boat, which is why I haven't touched it. So I agree with that. Yeah. The same thing with 2 Chainz.
Yeah, so which natural pivot from rapper go to the league, Mr. 2 Chainz himself.
Yeah.
Was that his last album?
You know what? I can look right now. I'm actually curious because
pull that shit up, Purvis.
I remember when the album actually dropped. I'm pretty sure we were texting about it.
Yeah.
And, like, it was just such a big impact. Like, The whole album was amazing, first of all.
Yeah, like, Two Chainz is definitely someone I know for, like, doing quality rap, quality work all the time. You know, the thing I really appreciate about 2 Chainz is that like, I like that he brings, like, a sense of levity and, like, almost like a sense of humor. You know, like, that's something that is, like, really hard to balance in hip-hop a lot of times. And
I
just,
definitely
like,
agree with that.
and, like, just seeing how he can do it, like, just so effortlessly, it just, you know, it brings a smile to my face.
It's a touch of Atlanta that we all need.
Yeah. Who doesn't need at least 3 people in their lives from Atlanta at all times?
I will say I looked into it. His last album was So Help Me God in 2020.
Oh,
The
really?
year before that was Rapper Goes to League. So we skipped an album.
Wow. Wow. Well, to be fair, 2020 was a hell of a year.
Yeah, we all went through some stuff.
Yeah, we all went through some stuff in 2020. That was, oh boy. Anyway,
we're literally talking about it like it's the past, as though we don't go outside with a mask on.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah, like we're not recording this like 30 miles apart in each other's bedrooms. But, all right, so let's move on.
But that's the albums.
Yeah, those are the albums that we found. Let's look at the music videos, because those are actually things that we watched.
Yes, we both brought a lot to the table. The first one I noticed was Jid, Surround Sound with 21 Savage.
Tell me about it. How you feel about Jid's career? How you feel about 21 Savage's career?
I feel like both of them are still reaching their peak. They both have put out some amazing quality music, and I feel like the jump from just an average rapper to something more above is to stand for something, actually have a meaning behind you. And you can tell, like, 21 Savage and Jid, like, they do it for, it's more than just a love of music. I feel like they do it for their families. It's a deeper meaning to them, and they offer deeper content for us to listen to.
Yeah,
and on top of that, they're just great rappers.
And like, and you think this is a good song? You think this track lives up to that?
Yes, absolutely. I think they both killed their verses. There is the ending part to the music video, which really adds on to the song. Sometimes the music video doesn't do things for me just because I'm not a visual person, but you can tell the quality of the music video increased the quality of the song. And the way it matched up towards the end was very, very good in my opinion.
That's going to be what I watch right when I'm done with this. Not before the hip-hop podcast I decided to record, edit, and distribute. No, after.
We're not perfect.
We're not perfect. We all make mistakes. And hey, you know who else makes mistakes? A Mr. Kanye West. Producer.
What kind of mistakes?
What kind of mistake? Well, first off, no. I was lying. Kanye has never made a mistake, except Jesus is King.
Fair.
But, yeah.
Fair.
But Kanye and what was the other producer? 90 Fingers or
something like that.
Yeah. Pusha T's new track, Diet Coke. I listened. Wolf. Right. Pusha T's back, baby.
Yeah. I did listen to it as well. I am very excited. Tell me your thoughts.
Yeah, no, I just feel like Pusha T is just such a good lyricist. And this is probably not the best, like, lyrical outing of his. You know, like, this should not be your first introduction to one Mr. T, Push. I do think, like, I just let him get away with being so, like, focused on, like, you know, the grimy drug lord music. Because he is just such a proven talent. Like, you know, do I think this song is, like, lyrically complex or genius? No, not particularly. But do I think it goes hard and I like listening to it? Yes, very much.
Absolutely. Yeah. There's no question.
And like Pusha T is just at a point where like I trust him to do that. Like it's fine. Like, you know,
he's always going to put out quality content, and I've never really questioned anything he's put out.
Yeah, like everything he's put out. You know, I remember the first Pusha T album I listened to, like, at time of recording was, like, My Name Is My Name. And ever since then, it's just like, oh, this guy is, like, real consistent.
Right. He is actually the real deal. And I feel like that, personally, that means a lot to me when I follow an artist and, like, they're actually rapping about their life. Like, a lot of people, like, try to flex the songs and it's not realistic. And there's always, like, that is the troll video of, like, Little Tekka. There's, like, a video that he did with Genius where, like, you know how Genius, you read out the lyrics?
Yeah, like the Genius explain videos?
Yeah, they explain videos. Like, there's people who go out there, like Lil Tecca, he goes on his video, and it's hilarious. There's an edited version of the longer Genius video where it cuts it in between, and it'll be like, oh, I got this car, I don't even drive. And I got this girl, I don't even talk to girls. Like, they cut back and forth. Like, he's not actually rapping about his life. Yeah. It's not realistic. But like Pusha T, he sells coke.
Yeah, there's no way he does it. There's no way he hasn't at least done it a little bit. Like, yeah, it definitely comes across as authentic, even if it's like a little bit more in your face. Do we have a release date on an album or a project?
I haven't seen anything. I've been looking around.
I mean, we have like some stuff that we're going to talk about later about like some Don the Dude releases, teases.
Yes.
So, and
we'll save it for later.
Yeah, we'll save that for later. But I do think just like in 2018 with the with those 7-track albums, I think you'll probably see like a release spree from good music.
Yeah, I agree, 100%.
Yeah. Boy, can you believe Rihanna let A$AP Rocky out the house to do 2 videos? 2 of them.
It might be this year. He's got 2 really good videos.
Yeah, 2 really good songs. He's features on both of them. One's with Aria and one's with Snot.
Yeah. So I think they're pretty good songs. I think it's the start of a very successful year. Although I am cautious as the baby is on the way. And Rihanna, congratulations to them.
Yeah, I'm sure they're going to hear this.
Yeah, just saying. I'm sure that would be a quick cutoff for his career. Well, not for his career, but a temporary pause.
Yeah.
Once the baby comes, he's not doing anything crazy.
We'll see. But yeah, no, I really like these tracks. And I'm not someone who goes crazy for A$AP Rocky. You know, like, don't get me wrong, like, no hate. Like, dude's talented. Someone who I saw come up with from, like, the Dat Piff era. No hate, a lot of love. But, like, I just, like, don't see, like, oh, A$AP Rocky, and that's going to make me click through, like, instantaneously. But, man, he's really good on both of these tracks. Like,
yes, he is.
Really quality stuff.
And they're both with younger people, and I think that's really dope.
Yeah, and
starting to bring up the younger people.
Yeah, definitely. And, like, you could definitely see Rocky's influence all over that Doja song, which is just a hilarious song because, like, I think everyone could relate. Like,
who wouldn't want to do that?
Yeah, it was a very relatable song. If you don't know what we're talking to, go listen. You could pause this and then come back. Not us though. We're recording. Like,
we don't have an option.
Yeah, you can.
But I was gonna say another single that caught my attention. I think it's one of the bigger singles out of all the ones that came out from last week, or from Friday, I should say, but it's Don't Play That from King Von featuring again, 21 Savage.
Yeah, and there's a Posthumanist release.
Yes.
R.I.P.
The name of the music video is real dope. I'm sorry, go ahead. I should have cut that.
Oh, no, I was just saying R.I.P.
Of course. I think it's super dope. So everything they did with it, they made a cartoon with the music video, and that was pretty well done. I questioned it at first, but I get it. Like, I think it's a good video.
I watched it. I thought it was really good.
But I think that's probably one of the bigger songs, just because it's also a TikTok song, so it's very easy to be used.
Yeah, well, it's just
social media.
You know, I think TikTok has definitely taken over as like the lead music discovery platform.
No question.
You know, like it's like because when I was coming up, it was YouTube. Like recommended videos was how you found out about shit.
Yeah, I was actually just talking about this with one of my friends the other day, but basically, it's interesting how you get. Not that SoundCloud has gone away, but there is a clear SoundCloud era.
Yeah,
you have like XXX, you have Juice WRLD, you have Trippie Redd. It's a lot of people that came up off of SoundCloud.
Oh, yeah.
You can see it moving now towards TikTok.
Yeah.
You have a whole new generation coming out of TikTok.
I don't think it's moving. I think it's moved. Like, I think that has happened. True. You know, and, like, there's, like, the rappers that were, like, big when I was, like, 18 were, like, Kid Cudi, Wiz Khalifa, and Drake, and Wale. And, like, it really felt like they were making their buzz, like, on YouTube and then, like, on Twitter. That was like where those people were, because like SoundCloud wasn't really around at the time. A lot of these folk were getting big off like singles. You know, there was Dat Piff for mixtapes, which, you know, I definitely used. Everyone used it, yeah, because it's the best. It's legal free music. What's not to love?
And if you don't know what this is, you're too young to be listening to his podcast.
Yeah, definitely. Well, but still do, because engagements. Anyway, you know, like that. I feel like when streaming took off, like that's when like SoundCloud took the baton from YouTube.
Yeah.
You know, like when YouTube was around, like digital music was dominant, but people were still buying songs for the most part. And then
I just feel like in general, especially with like the YouTube piece, it was like MTV was super big back then. So like I feel like music videos had a bigger impact
yeah,
along with the song. So you would see it on MTV and then they would post the actual music video that they put on MTV on YouTube. So
yeah,
naturally that's where you found the music.
yeah, definitely. And you know, what's super interesting is I think like in this very visual Instagram, TikTok world, I think videos have become real important again.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I think we really have. Which you know, I'm a huge fan of music videos. You know, I think like there's some of the best like just like visual like artistry that you see like on a big scale. It's a really unique art form.
I know you feel with your music videos.
Yeah, I really fuck with
Or
it.
just movies in general.
I like visual stuff. I like everything, kind of. I'm pretty great. All right, so like just circling back to our friend Mr. T and his. Did you see that Ye was calling himself Yezos?
The Yezos?
Yezos.
I remember hearing the bar in the song. He said he rhymed Yezos with pesos, I think, or something like that.
Yeah.
So after that,
like a madman.
I'm pretty much checked out.
Yeah. Jesus Christ! Of all the fucking nicknames, Kanye. God damn. But it does seem to be threatening Donda too, like pretty aggressively.
22.
Yeah, dude.
This man never drops an album one time, but we'll see.
Yeah, but he never ties it to like a very specific date like that.
That is also true. And also, he's got this whole like thing going with him where it's Black Future Month. If it's not in February, then what's the whole point of doing this whole thing?
Yeah, no, that's
got to drop in February.
I mean, that wouldn't stop Kanye. I literally saw trucks like driving around playing the second Donda Experience, and it's like
Brandon, in our hometown, we went to our football stadium and saw a man build a house.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's no stopping it.
Yeah. No, there's no stopping it. It's pure insanity. And like I don't think people appreciate Kanye from that angle of like, Jesus Christ, what is he gonna go do next? It's like Wile E. Coyote, but real.
He said he's a genius.
He is a genius. A musical genius. All right, back from something that is clearly not an edit. Purvis, you have a theory.
So my theory, here's my theory. Speaking of like the Donda 2 stuff, and now all of a sudden Pusha T is putting out a single, it reminds me of, I think it was 2018.
Yeah.
We had Kids See Ghosts, we had Ye. What was Tiana Taylor's album called?
There was a Tiana Taylor. There was a Nas album.
There was a Pusha T one. There was a Nas.
Yeah,
well,
it was.
You get the point.
Yeah, it was those 5 albums released in 5 weeks. It was a golden time. Every album hit their date. Although like
some unbelievable stuff.
Yeah, like unbelievable stuff. Although like there was like Pusha T and Ye were like ready at midnight. Like Kids See Ghosts, it dropped to like 5 the next day, but it still hit the date technically. Like
yeah, I mean they did what they could with it.
Yeah,
but what my theory was circled around, I could see that being a similar thing. You all of a sudden have Kanye talking about putting out stuff, Pusha T is putting out stuff. All it would take is one more person to convince me, like Kid Cudi or Travis Scott, to be like, hey, here's a single. I think we're going to get a similar pattern where we get, like 5 or 6 short albums, which I think would be dope.
Yeah, no, I'm into the short album. I certainly, if I had to choose between a short album and like a double album, I'll probably pick a short album.
100%.
Because usually like it's all killer, no filler. Although I yearn for the days of album-sized albums.
Yeah, you don't see that too often.
Yeah, every once in a while you get one.
Isn't it good?
I mean, no, but yeah, no, I definitely think that you're going to see some releases. And there was definitely this picture I saw floating around, the Donda 2 date for 2/2/22. It had the Diet Coke release date. And then it had Intergalactic, which is that Kid Cudi like album that's also like a Netflix thing.
Yep.
And I know that's coming out this year, but there hasn't been a date put on it. And it's been announced it's been announced for a while. Now it's an animation thing, so those things take a long time. So like I was anticipating, like even just hearing that it was this year, I'm like, bet, put it at the end of the year. That's fine because like I know how long animation takes. But seeing it on the board with those two albums, like provided they hit their dates, which not a guarantee, but provided they hit their dates, like I do think Intergalactic is probably coming sooner than later.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And you got me thinking just about that kind of stuff in general.
Do you think we might
go ahead?
Do you think we might get kids see Ghost 2?
Oh, that would be fantastic. I didn't even consider that. That would be fantastic.
I would burn down a grocery store for kids see Ghost 2. Like
there's no like rhyme or reasons.
Yeah, I would threaten a teacher for kids who goes to. But what were you thinking? Like, where was your brain going?
Sorry, I was thinking a very, very different direction. Atlanta 2 is coming out soon. Super huge news.
Oh, Atlanta season 2?
Or season 2, I should say.
I think it's season 3.
Season 3, whatever.
Yeah.
New Atlanta.
Huge deal. We'll definitely be talking about Atlanta as that gets closer because I definitely think that falls into the scope of this podcast.
Yeah, that deserves its own episode.
Yeah, that deserves, some episodes reacted to that because goddamn, that show is genius.
Yes.
Like, I've seen...
We will also be making fun of Dave since we're...
Yeah, like, okay, so I've seen several people that like I really respect, like TV writers and TV reviewers and critics and whatnot, like defend Dave. And like I liked the first season, but like the second season made it clear that that show is literally just Atlanta but worse.
Yeah, literally.
Like it's literally like, don't get me wrong, like it's good, like it's not the worst thing I've ever seen in any shape, way, or form. But like that show exists and it's much better, and it has Donald Glover in it. And that's good enough for me. Yeah, no, I am incredibly excited for the next season of Atlanta. It's been a long time coming. And there's only 2 more seasons, so this will be exciting.
It just made me a little sad, but I know he'll do something great with it.
Yeah, like knowing whenever they announce that something's gonna end, like before it ends, I'm always a little bit optimistic. Because that means that like the ending will be like intentional. I was just watching the show AP Bio, which like not hip hop related even a little bit, but if you get to watch AP Bio, it's really good. It's got the guy from It's Always Sunny. You didn't find out that like that was all there was until a week ago, like because it just got canceled. It's like, oh, I was thinking maybe there could be a 5th season, like.
Yeah, you don't even get the satisfaction of having like a last episode.
Yeah, I think Donald Glover will do good by us with an ending. Definitely more of a Breaking Bad than a Dexter.
As long as it's not like Game of Thrones.
Yeah. Oh my God, leave me alone. There was some wild. Oh man. There was some wild shit that broke today.
There is some
wild shit, and I think we want to be brief on this. Because
you don't have to dive too deep.
Yeah, but like, some asshole leaked sex tape of Isaiah Rashad and it apparently outed him.
Yeah, so that's one thing. That's already bad enough. But the reason we're speaking like this is because within the sex tape is not something that you would have expected.
Yeah.
It's a video of him giving head to another guy.
Yeah, he was certainly not out. And like, look, the guy in his music definitely has a history of talking about like depression and like suicidal ideation. And like knowing how people who are forced, like kept in the closet, like are like it makes a lot more sense now. So I'm really mortified for dude. Like not only is it like a massively shitty thing to do to leak someone's sex tape, but like that to out them for clout.
That's just terrible.
I can't think of it. Yeah, no, I can't think of anything worse than that. Luckily, like the silver, I do think there is a silver lining to this story, and that is just like seeing how strong the support is behind him.
100%.
That's like
what I was kind of thinking about as well.
Yeah, and I'll let you speak to that, but
I was gonna say, just like it's a small conversation I already had, kind of with like some of my cousins, and like we hope that he has some people behind him. You have people that or have come out already, like Tyler the Creator, like Frank Ocean, but even still, their music isn't exactly the same as Rashad's. So you would hope that there's a strong community behind them, but it's kind of a known thing that I won't say for all of the Black community, but it's not as accepted, I would say. So it's a lot of fear. Like, man, is he going to be able to overcome this? He already, like you said, raps about depression. So I think this would be a pretty big test for him, and it's terrible that it happened. And I just feel bad for the guy.
I got nothing but support for the guy. You know, I don't want to speak out on that just because like that's not me. That's not my culture. I don't feel like it's my place to comment on that. But I know hip hop can be homophobic too. You know.
Extreme.
And that's not shit I fuck with. So one way or another, I just hope Isaiah Rashad, like, I hope he sees this outcry of support behind him and keeps on keeping on, because that album he released last year was fire, and also he's a human being.
Absolute fire.
Yeah. Like, hey, it could be for both things, but it has to be for both things.
But it has to be for both things. That's respectable.
Yeah. All right. I think, yeah, that's the news. Wow, that was the first time we did the news, Purvis.
Some slight.
Yeah, that was light work, easy peasy.
Where
are we at? We're 36 minutes. No big deal.
Bad. Okay.
Yeah, no, not bad at all. By the way, thank you, listener, for dealing with these very early episodes. We know yeah, and by listener we mean Jeff and maybe Eddie.
Yeah, that's about it.
But because it's our first episode, because it's taking these conversations you and me have every day and like bringing it to people for the first time, I thought we could talk about something near and dear to both of our hearts, and that is what happened to Chance the Rapper.
Yeah.
Because like I don't exaggerate when I say that there were several years when Chance the Rapper was like, if not my favorite artist, like the artist I was most. Yeah, no, for sure. And like, if he wasn't my favorite artist, he was the artist I was most excited about. Like, maybe I would still say Kanye was my favorite at the time. But like, god damn, I remember exactly where I was when.
Well, that's what I think we should do. This we should break down where we first saw Chance, or get into Chance.
Yeah. Oh, sure. I would love to do this. The first time I ever saw Chance, or was made aware of Chance, was I went to Columbia College Chicago, and in 2013 I wound up just like in the city long before I would go there. It was like my first exposure to the college, and they had this thing Manifest every year. And Chance the Rapper, the school he got kicked out of for 10 days, right there next to the college, right? So he was always in that area. And he played in Manifest. And, like, I didn't pay it no mind at the time. Like, I was there to just, to kind of, like, get a sense of, like, the city and stuff. Like, I wasn't even there intentionally. He was there playing there. And that was, like, one of his first big things. And then the first time, like, I actually, like, remember hearing him was on Childish Gambino's mixtape Royalty. He was on a song on that. Yeah, my first impression was...
I think I remember that.
Yeah. And he had already had 10 Day out, so like I could have looked into him at this point, but I didn't. But I remember hearing his track on Royalty. I think it's called... I'm going to pull it up. Give me 1 second. But I remember hearing it and being like, oh, this guy's voice is real annoying.
That's what everybody said. And I remember... That was one of my first experiences too with him, was on Royalty, and I remember the line.
They don't like me.
On my head like Sins or something like that.
Yeah.
I remember that being one of the bars.
Yeah. At the same time, like, I did like that song because I'm a big fan of Royalty. When I heard, because I remember where I was when Acid Rap dropped. I was with my buddies Muhammad and Bobby. You know, Muhammad had already heard it. He was like, oh shit, have you heard Acid Rap by Chance the Rapper? And I already was like, I know that name, Chance the Rapper. And man, it had to be late May 2013. I heard Acid Rap for the first time, and it just took me away.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I have a hard time thinking of another mixtape that affected me as much as Acid Rap.
In my opinion, I will put it as the best mixtape.
Yeah, I mean, for like rap, absolutely, it's the best mixtape. Maybe with like the benefit of hindsight, I might put House of Balloons by the Weeknd above him.
Ooh, okay, that is.
But I think that's with hindsight. I was certainly not into House of Balloons as hard as I was into Acid Rap when Acid Rap. Where were you, Purvis?
I'm trying to think how old that is. So Acid Rap came out. I was looking up the year. It was about 9 years ago. 10 years ago. I was 16? 16 or 17. One of the two.
Dropped April 30th, 2013.
Yeah, so I was probably very early high school, and I did not know anything about him at all. I was very disconnected compared to now. I just wasn't very connected with music. I didn't have like a music player. To be honest, I didn't get a phone until I was in high school. Portable handheld technology wasn't my thing. And one of my friends was telling me like, oh, you should learn how to use DatPiff. And I knew nothing about DatPiff. So I had to do some research on how to use it. And of course, on DatPiff on the main page is Acid Rap. So I had heard kind of little things in passing, nothing really like. No, I didn't hear any songs. I didn't really know anything about him, where he's from, any details. I just knew he existed and he was supposed to be good. So I downloaded it from DatPiff, and the rest was history. Like I listened to that album front to back, nonstop.
Yeah,
it's absolutely fantastic. I knew the lyrics. I'm pretty sure there was a point where I listened to it every day, so I would know every lyric to every song. There was a point, not anymore. And I don't know, it just connected with me. I feel like on a more personal level, because you already know, like I'm a pastor's kid, and like Chance brings in Christianity into his music on a very great level. So I connect to him on a religion point, just like his interests in basketball and what he does in Chicago. Just he's another young black man in Chicago. It's something to look up to, you know.
Yeah. No, I totally feel that.
So yeah.
But
it was just amazing.
Was there much Christianity in Acid Rap though?
At the time, there wasn't much, but as you grow to know the kid and you follow this young adult,
there was like maybe no overt Christianity, but certainly like some of the themes of it on 10 Day.
Right.
There's that song Family, which has like a very, church friendly attitude. It's so bonkers to me because like this came out 14 days before I turned 21. And it was like, this was the soundtrack to the summer, my first summer being able to legally drink. And when it's your first summer you can legally drink, that's what you'd spend the summer doing. So like,
what an album to match that up.
And like, yeah, what an album. Like, because it's just, it's just like a fun, it's got darkness to it. It's got levity to it. It's fun. It's everything. Like it really does like, and like, it really does feel like an album in like a way that like most mixtape, even most great mixtapes just didn't. It feels like, it has a flow, like it has a narrative almost, like there's the back end, which is like all the big features, which kind of feels like, all right, like I gave you all these like really emotional emotions in the beginning, and now here's a bunch of fucking big name features for you. It has like, a shape, unlike a lot of mixtapes. And man, like stands the test of time for me.
Yeah, I listened to this today.
Yeah, like I was listening to it today too, and we decided that this is what we were going to talk about. Was this his peak though? Provided, of course, that his peak is not in the future, which I will be making the case that could be true. So hold me to that. But
I mean, personally, I feel like it's a part of his peak, if that makes sense. I feel like he had reached a certain level and he stayed there. He plateaued. He came out with Coloring Book, which was also a really good album.
Yeah.
In different ways.
I have complicated feelings on Coloring Book that I think this would be a very good platform for.
And I feel after Coloring Book, well, we know what happened.
Yeah.
I would say Acid Rap is part of his peak, would be my answer.
Well, yeah. I mean, Yeah, that's definitely fair. Definitely fair. I just remember there being so much goodwill and just so much energy of like, look what Chance the Rapper could do. I was also a big fan of Vic Mensa, who's on this album, and like, it felt like he. Don't get me wrong, I think Vic Mensa deserves the success he's gotten because I'm a big fan. But at the same time, it does feel like he rode the Chance wave a bit. Tape feels a lot like an acid rap sequel, kind of. But it was just like this huge moment for like. And it was my first time with a huge moment in like the local city. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Chance is from the same town we are. I should have known something was up when Surf came out, the Donnie Trumpet.
Okay, what do you mean?
Because that's when it started getting real Jesus-y. Now
there are some trumpets in there.
Yeah. Now don't get me wrong. Like that one big song, Sunday Candy, that's a great song. Like even though that is very churchy. Yeah. I think just because I got caught up with acid rap as like a moment, I think maybe I never got sight because looking back on it, it's clear that that's who Chance is. Like acid rap is the aberration.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, like
that is fair.
Like because on 10 Day he kind of has that vibe a little bit. It's nowhere near as pronounced as it is on Coloring Book or Big Day or those really good singles that came out before his first album. Like those were all very Jesus-y, but and 10 Day was a little bit, not as much as the other ones, but a little bit. So I think like that's the thing I'm still trying to wrap my head around is that acid rap, like my first big impression to him, is very clearly like the deviation in his personality, not the default.
Yep.
And, I think that might be why you and me, even though we both feel very strongly about the guy, I think we do ultimately have very different perspectives.
I agree with that. And I feel like it's interesting that you brought that up where acid rap is kind of like the sidebar to him. Like, this isn't really the Chance. This is Chance possibly going through a rough patch.
Yeah, I mean, it's called acid rap. No one takes a lot of acid when times are good. Except me.
Whoa.
Like...
But I mean, yeah, that's why I said, well, in all seriousness, like you can tell from the drug abuse, like the lyrics, there's some really great bars, but it gets pretty dark and heavy at times.
Yeah.
And like relating to that, it was kind of a little concept that I was thinking about earlier this week, but like how drug really affects making music and listening to music, and it can intensify some of your feelings and bring out a new light to you, a part of your story that's never been told before. And I feel like him going through maybe a rough patch and starting to take new drugs, it brought out a different side, a special side, a little period in his life that we'll never probably get again.
Yeah. Yeah, not unless something goes horribly wrong.
I mean, God forbid, I wouldn't wish on somebody's divorce, but...
I mean, this isn't a video podcast, so I can say my fingers aren't crossed. And I'm not mouthing, please get divorced, Chance, please get divorced, Chance, please get divorced, Chance. Like, right. No, it definitely feels like this could be just like a moment that like we're just never going to get again.
I don't think it's fair.
No, I don't think it's fair. But I do think that like it is possible for him to pass this. And what I want to ask you is, what was your feelings when you saw that his music was going into like more of a churchy kind of direction?
Like I said, it didn't bother me.
Or did you not even notice until it was too late? Like, because the second I heard Sunday Candy, like, don't get me wrong, song's fucking great. But he wasn't doing his first verse, and I was like, this is not acid rap. Like,
yeah, it is really not. And after that, you get Coloring Book, which has a lot of gospel on it.
Oh yeah, a lot. And yeah, let's touch base. Where were you when Coloring Book came out?
When Coloring Book came out?
Yeah.
Let me
pull it up.
That's what we're gonna do. Yep.
I'll pull it up.
What we're about to do. Coloring Book. Excuse me.
Oh shit! I forgot. It came out on my birthday.
God damn.
Yeah.
Well, this has a different meaning, definitely than to me. I'm trying to think. What was that 6 years ago? 6 years. Did we know each other 6 years ago?
We didn't. No, I was still in college.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I remember exactly what I was doing that day.
What were you doing?
I was, I went out drinking, as one does. It was my last day in my first apartment, so we were packing, and then it was my birthday, so we all went out after. And I don't think I listened to this for a couple days because I was so busy.
That makes sense.
Yeah. When Acid Rap came out, I was going through a bad time too. So
Yeah.
that might be another reason why I like it so much.
It keeps layering.
But shortly after Acid Rap, I had turned my life around and like, I was in a good spot, but I had just gotten to a spot where like I had to be up all night to do my job. And that's where I ironically found podcasts. So like I just went to like there was a point where 80 to 90% of what I was listening to at any given podcast and not music. And that was where I was when this dropped. But I did listen to it. Because it was chance, I did listen to it
Right.
almost immediately. But I remember just like not being in the most music forward place of my life. Which might explain my reaction.
Yeah, that is true. I will say, personally for me, I was either a freshman or sophomore in college. I was going through probably a rougher time. I remember this came out, I was still dating one of my exes in high school, and she had just moved away to college. So I was not having the best of times. And I feel like I remember driving home from UIC because I commuted every day. I would see his posters up on like billboards and everything, and that would be like the highlights of the day, like anticipation, waiting for the next album finally drops, and it lives up to the moment. So that's why I feel like Coloring Book is a part of his peak.
Yeah. So looking back, for a few years now, I've been of the opinion that Coloring Book is extremely good. Like, I like Coloring Book a lot. Like, there's a lot of great songs on it, and a bunch of them I loved from the drop. Like, No Problem, Same Drugs, Angels, Juke Jam. Like, a lot of them, like, the second I heard them, I liked them. But the album as a whole, for some reason, just kind of took a couple years for me to really appreciate. And I think it may have been when you step back and you look at Chance's career, or at least the career so far, you can kind of clearly see that this is where he becomes the artist he's going to make music for the rest of his life. And I think I don't think we talked about like a huge Chance moment that happened like right before this, and that was Ultralight Beam dropping.
Oh.
Like that was like an album almost event when that came out.
Yeah.
And like
you know how I feel about that song.
Yeah, I think it's your favorite song of all time. I think it's your I think it's your text notification on my phone.
Probably a version of me singing it too.
Yeah. But yeah, no, that was a moment. And like I remember not being a big fan of Life of Pablo when it dropped. Like a lot more aggressively than Coloring Book. But damn, even I was like incredible. Like and I think that was like the best possible like ad campaign that this thing could have. Because like I was living 3 blocks from UIC at the time. So like I was in the center. At every poster, at every wall was lined with posters of Chance in his silly hat.
Looking down.
Yeah, like everywhere. It was I was in the epicenter of it. But looking back, I 100% think that I think this is proof that like the more, for lack of a better phrase, sanitized version of Chance can be completely artistically valid. Because I don't think this is any more or less sanitized than Big Day.
Which we haven't even.
Which we'll get to. We got another stop on the fucking. Listen, I'm
trying to avoid the big day as long as you can.
I'm trying to avoid that stop on fucking memory lane. So memory lane swerves into fucking the back of the yards. But it was quiet from Chance for a little bit with this. After this,
he got married.
Yeah, he got married. He had that magnificent coloring day in the city. You were there. I was not.
It was absolutely that was my peak experience. One of my peak experiences in my life. That is absolutely one of the best things I've done in my life. Shout out to Abe. I still don't even know why. Like, God bless him. I'm very happy and grateful, but I don't know. Abe got me tickets to see this concert with Chance the Rapper, Alicia Keys, John Legend, Tyler the Creator, Little Uzi. I think Young Thug was supposed to be there, but he was late. Not surprising.
No, not surprising at all.
Yeah, no. Of course, Chance, Lil Wayne. Something. It was a lot of. I'm pretty sure it was a lot of people there. That was some dope experiences. People that I never thought I was going to see live. On top of all of that, Kanye West comes out, and I have videos. I'm on the third level. Me and my guy are going to the bathroom. We're walking where the concession stands are. If you ever been to stadium, the White Sox stadium, and we just hear dun, 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 and everyone is sprinting, and we're like, "There's no shot. There's no way." And we go out there, and lo and behold, Kanye's coming out from the stage, and you see people jumping onto the field, like stuff you'll never experience again. It's so wild.
Yeah. Wow, that's the second conversation that had, and then Kanye showed up in it. I think that's going to be a reoccurring thing on this podcast. I was doing this thing, and then Kanye showed up.
And that just speaks to his influence, dude.
It's insane. Eventually, we'll have a Kanye cast.
Okay, that's it.
Eventually, we're gonna have to spend an episode talking explicitly about Kanye, but we will fight to keep that day off as far as possible.
As long as possible.
We missed that date, Mr. West. We don't want to talk to you. Oh my God.
Be a guest one day.
So he had Magnificent Coloring Day. Knowing now remembering that coloring book came out in early 2016, it was definitely significantly after, because I was in my second apartment. I was living off the Red Line, which means that it was unusable the day of Magnificent Coloring Day. Thank you very much, Chance. I couldn't get anywhere. But yeah, he was kind of quiet for a few years. 2017 came and went. Didn't hear from him. 2018, though, he, for some reason, just dropped, was it 4 or was it 6 singles?
4. 1 6.
Yeah, it was 4. It was 95th and Ingleside.
Oh, now you're really testing my knowledge.
I'm doing this off the dome. Let me see if I can do it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You really tested me.
95th and Ingleside.
Need security or something? I need security.
I need security.
All right.
Yeah, that's all I got.
We get 2 of them.
Yeah. I think one of them was Wawa or something like that.
It was 6. I was wrong. There were 6.
Oh, wow.
What? Okay, we have My Own Thing.
My Own Thing.
We have The Man Who Has Everything.
Okay.
We have Workout.
That was one.
Yep. I Might Need Security. 65th and Ingleside, and then While I Can, the one you was talking about,
yeah. So, which of these
singles?
Yeah. Okay. So I remember these two. Now that I think about it, and I think what's shocking to me is that there are singles on here that I don't think I've listened to twice, like Wallacam.
Okay.
And then there's 65th and Ingleside and I Need Security, which I've listened to in the last week.
Yeah, I was about to say that those can stay on repeat. And
yeah.
I'll be fine.
Yeah, but I think the thing about these singles that was so... I think these might have been the death nail for Big Day, because these set expectations relatively high.
It absolutely did.
Yeah,
I will say these 6 songs are probably better than 90% of the songs on the Big Day.
Yeah, no, I don't think there are any songs on the Big Day that are as good as that. Any of the 65th and Ingleside is incredible. I'm a huge fan of I Might Need Security. They're just really, really good songs. And it's even more perplexing, especially coming the year after Kanye West just, was universally beloved for putting out a bunch of 7-song albums I don't know why Chance decided to randomly drop 6 singles and then release a 30-track Nightmare.
How many songs did it have?
I don't know. I'm gonna look it up right now.
I need to look now. You're making me think about it.
The Big Day. Oh my god.
22 songs.
So should we just dive into it then?
Yeah, so after the 6 singles, we had Groceries. Don't forget, Groceries came out.
Oh, yeah.
Another thing that set high expectations.
Okay, yeah, Groceries was a good song too. Yeah, you're totally right. Yeah, so he basically put out like a 7-song album that was good.
Put out,
Yeah, he put out, and then we get to summer 2019. Purvis, how many times have you listened to The Big Day? All the way through?
All the way through?
Yeah, how many times?
This is an hour, 17-minute long. 4 times maybe. All the way through, front to cover.
Dude, I don't know if I did. Yeah, cover to cover. Mine's 1. Mine is 1 with an eye roll.
I will say 2 legitimate tries and then stubbornness.
Yeah.
3 and 4.
Yeah, dude, like, I don't know if it's because I legitimately have memory problems going back any time before, March of 2020. I wonder why that is. But fuck, man, I could Hot Shower I remember because it's obnoxious.
Yeah, Hot Shower was something. And what is killing me is like he's got some top. Bro, it's like it was meant to fail. He's got some top-notch features.
Handsome was okay. Handsome was like the one good song.
Handsome was good. But think about it. This man had John Legend, Smino, The Baby, Ari Lennox. We had Megan Thee Stallion at her peak.
Yeah.
Gucci Mane, Lil Durk, Nicki Minaj twice. How did he get so many big names?
Well, it was all the hype. But my thing is that I want to know why did he think this was good? How is the guy who made how did
he put it out?
How did this happen?
This man has spent hours in the studio. He chose the beat, made the lyrics, spent weeks recording this garbage, and
then weeks mastering it,
making cuts, and you still couldn't cut it lower than an hour, 17 minutes.
It was just,
it's tough,
and it's just acid rap, and then Coloring Book, and then specifically the Coloring Book. The run up to Coloring Book was incredible. I remember everyone was primed to love Coloring Book, and if this album was good, I think people would have really liked that. I don't think Chance was going to get torn down no matter what. I certainly don't think that was the case. But man, this really tested people's love of the guy.
I'm looking at the songs.
There's one good song.
There's 3 that I would listen to. There's only 3 that I'll sit here and go, all right, I'll press play.
And this guy was, at the time of release, this guy was your favorite artist.
Chance was in my top 3.
I remember, a week before this album coming out, me texting you and being dude.
Oh my God, bro.
What if this is bad?
Don't remind me, don't. I tried to fit in this man, bro. I was so scared. I'm telling you, you know me. I don't listen to albums when they first drop.
Yeah.
It's my stubborn habit. I love music. Brandon, you don't know how butthurt I was. I was fighting for my life trying to defend this man.
Yeah, well,
I was please don't be bad.
That's what men of God do for each other.
He let me know. I pressed play, and it hurt. It hurt.
Yeah.
It hurt so much.
And you know what? Trying to think of an example. It's not like it was ambitious and bad. It's not like it was, for lack of a better example, Speeding Bullet to Heaven, which at the very least was very ambitious, but also equally as unlistenably bad.
Yes.
It was just, my God, how the mighty have fallen. But
Yeah.
But I do think there's a silver lining with it. And that is one, how could the next one be worse?
Man.
How could it be worse?
I don't want to test it.
Because think about this.
Serious, Brandon.
Well, no, because this is the purpose. Like, put yourself in his mindset, right? Like, when he was going into the big day, he was
supposed to be next.
He was probably pretty confident, because of how well Acid Rap and like all of his features and Coloring Book went over.
He got all the mixtapes on Spotify and Apple Music. It was a big deal.
Yeah, like he was, he was going to be next. He was going to be the next number one definitively great rapper, And this happened.
He was next.
So I could definitely see him just not allowing an album of this quality to come out again. I think he's going to be much more critical of his own work next time around.
I hope so.
And I don't know. I think I've heard he's working on an album. Like, he has to be doing another one, right?
So we had a single that came out.
Oh yeah, there was one that he came on that he was a feature on that just came out. You sent it to me, ACAB.
Yeah, and
I like
came
that.
out more recently. I liked it.
Yeah,
I liked it a lot. Hold on, because now you got me thinking. There was a song, and this is when he first started promoting himself. He goes for a hot minute. He comes back, and he releases last year the single called "The Heart and the Song." Fantastic music video. 1, 2. The man sounds good. He does. And maybe that's copium, and I'm eating into it. The man sounds like the old Chance. He sounds really good. He has great lyrics to it. There's a good meaning behind it. The beat's simple. It's polished. It's nothing weird or experimental. It's not necessarily acid rap, as in terms of, like, the theme or the tone. But, like, it has the quality of it. And I loved it. I did.
Oh, that's fair.
And that's when he started the promotion stuff. And since then, I know he's been to Africa. And he was with...
He's also acting. He's on the Chai.
Yeah.
Or not the Chai, Southside.
So, he's busy.
Yeah.
But I think he's scared. And he should be. Because his career is pretty much going to rely on the next one.
Yeah, no, because he does not get a second one. Yeah, he does. If it's not a strong redemption, it's like... Because this guy got the opinion of being washed, like, super fast. And,
like, immediately. Like, this came out, and a week later, people who... I didn't like Chance. Me. Of all the people you know in your life.
Yeah, no, you were... Even you. Like... And like I can tell, and like the way you talk about like his music, and like when we talk about music in the abstract, and like we have to fill like that bubble with whatever we're gonna say. I've noticed you bringing Chance the Rapper into that bubble like a lot less.
Yeah.
Yeah, over the last few years, because like dropping the ball that hard on your first album, like that's rough.
It is tough.
That
ain't much coming back from that.
No, it's not. But I believe in Chance the Rapper. I do. I think he's got another album in him that is. I don't know what the third album will be, but I think the second one will be good. Who knows? Maybe Acid Rap and Coloring Book will be his peak, but I don't think they have to be.
They do not have to be.
And,
So in that case, what I want to do next is, what does he need to do to come back? What do you see? How does he rebrand himself and become something new? What do you envision? What does he need to do?
I think like the meme answer, like the answer everyone wants, is like he's got to do acid. But in reality, I think he just has to put himself in the same mind space as Coloring Book. Because I think the same way Coloring Book and Acid Rap have like radically different tones and they feel like they were almost made by different artists, Coloring Book and Big Day don't. The only thing that really separates them to me is their quality. Coloring Book being extremely good and Big Day being. I feel like if Chance chases the dragon of like acid rap and like tries to do something, that is so opposite of the "I love my wife" stuff, he's gonna fall flat. Like that's just not gonna work because like it's not gonna come across as authentic. And I don't want him to go through the personal trauma that would be required of him to do that authentically, because then I wonder if his ability to actually make quality music is because it's a response to trauma and not growing up.
Yep, that is a great way to look at it.
Yeah. So I think what he has to do is he has to get into like that Coloring Book mindset. I don't think, look, I think Chance turned back, like Chance's career spoiled long after he started sanitizing himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, I think that's him. I think that's genuinely who he is and who he wants to be and how he wants people to see him. So if I was him, I'd say team back up with the guys from Coloring Book 3 or Coloring Book or Chance 3 or whatever you want to call it and make songs like that and just do it song by song.
Yeah, important on that.
And I mean, I would love if you maybe did some work with Vic again, like those two are always good together. I would love to see him do more. Also, I think he was a voice I missed on Donda. I would love if he kind of worked with Kanye West, especially because, the kind of gospel Kanye West is putting into his music now is very different from the gospel that he was putting into Life of Pablo and that Chance was putting in the Coloring Book. And I think it's a really, really unique sound. Like, I'm a fan of that album. So that is kind of like where I would say to put it. Like, go back to your root. I think, I was kind of at ground zero for what I considered endemic of, Chance's career fallings. Because I was at Lala in 2019. I believe it was either immediately following or in the run-up of the big day. I don't remember. And I was seeing Childish Gambino. And a lot of people forget this, but like we brought it up at the beginning, Childish Gambino is how a lot of people learned about Chance the Rapper. Some might even call him a cosign. And across the park at the same time, the counter-programming Childish Gambino was Death Cab for Cutie. And we knew Chance was in Chicago, and I was there with my buddy Jeff, who's going to be on the cast eventually. We're like, oh my God, is he going to come out and do favorite song? Is he going to come out and do worst guys? Is he going to, Donald put him on. Mm-hmm. What's he going to do here in his hometown with Donald? And the answer was nothing. Instead, he came out across the park with Death Cab for Cutie. And to me, that just shows, like, okay, his mind was like, he was trying to reach the people who would go see Death Cab for Cutie over Childish Gambino. And what he has to do is the exact opposite.
Literally the exact opposite.
They definitely feel like they're meant to play on the pop radio.
Right. And I feel like that adds to why I look at it so negatively, because I low-key, I can't even look at this as a hip-hop album. I don't know what to call this. It's like just a mess.
Yeah, I mean...
and he just tried mixing random genres that I won't say aren't meant to be mixed, but they're very,
like
very
that.
hard. Exactly. They're very hard to be done correctly.
Yeah, and like you really got...
Not everyone can do it.
Yeah. And like... the genres I think Chance brings into hip-hop really well are jazz, gospel, blues. The stuff that the south side of the city is known for. Like, and I think like, and like it's hard to say this because like as like a person and an activist, I think it's very fair to say Chance never forgot his roots. But I think as an artist, he needs.
Yeah.
And Mr. Chancellor Bennett, if for some reason you're listening to this podcast, why? But just know that we're rooting for you.
Yes.
And we're local. So if you want to come talk to us and tell us we suck or whatever, that's fine. Like
literally make fun of us because we didn't like the big day.
Yeah, the big day. But hey, we literally love everything else. And, I'm rooting for Chance. I believe in Chance the Rapper.
You're the same boat. We gonna see though. I'm just telling.
Yeah, we're gonna see. We're gonna see. I just think, man, I just know that his pride is gonna keep him from releasing a second The Big Day. I think the best thing he could do is if he makes an album that's like really, really good, he should just call it The Big Day 2.
Oh God, no, please. Don't even.
That would be.
I don't even want to think about that.
That'd be king shit.
It's bringing on just negative spirits. I'm not getting good vibes from that. Even the name alone is pissing me off.
You're so mad. But like
so triggered.
You're very triggered right now. So I got one more question to round this off, and then I think we'll probably go into our what we're listening to, and then we'll probably call it a night. Is there anyone else that you can like kind of put into that has had a career trajectory like Chance? You know, because you see some weird career trajectories in hip hop. You know, is there one that's as dramatic as Chance the Rapper?
Dramatic? That's tough. It's hard because I feel like Chance was at the cusp. He was right there. Like, he was supposed to be the next big one. So I feel, with that being said, I don't know of another person who was that high and, like, messed up that poorly, but we do see a couple people coming in and falling out.
Yeah.
Maybe they just didn't adapt to the changes or whatever the times, but
yeah, I mean, like,
just wasn't there.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like it's almost insulting to Chance to like pair him with this guy, even though I was a fan at one point. But like, the Baby comes to mind.
100%.
Yeah, like
who is on this album?
Yeah, who is on this album? 100%.
Who's on this album?
But like, I remember when those first two The Baby albums dropped, we were like, "Oh man, this guy is really good."
This guy's it.
And then like, I know he was like canceled last year or whatever. I don't know. I don't believe in canceling. But like, the songs he was putting out were also just like very bad. Like, if I ran a music video, excuse me, like if I ran a music festival, like, yes, I would kick you off for being homophobic, but also you wouldn't be there in the first place for making those SpongeBob SquarePants ass songs. Like, Jesus Christ.
I forget about that.
Like,
that is tough.
You know, like,
who do you blame for that? I'm just gonna blame him.
Yeah, I'm just gonna blame the Baby. But like, that's the only other guy that like comes to mind. Like, when you think about someone who has like maybe a trajectory like this, you know,
that's the only one that comes to mind for me. I was thinking,
in a very different way. Maybe Little Uzi Vert kind of reminds me of this, but like in a very different way, because like Chance spoiled his legacy. I do feel like Little Uzi Vert has just like slowly stopped putting out music over time.
That's fair.
You know, and just like he could have been like number one.
He's supposed to come out with something this year.
I mean, we'll see, but like the last thing I remember was Eternal Attack, which was like pre-pandemic. That's how I remember time now.
And there is a whole that again with these stupid double albums, but that was basically 2 albums.
Yeah.
The extended version was an entirely whole other like 13 album list.
Yeah, I remember that. And like, I thought Eternal Attack was like good, but like not
like parts of it,
like not incredible.
It didn't have that concept. I feel like his other albums had.
No, not at all.
It just felt like a bunch of bangers put together and cool. Bangers just used loosely.
Yeah, very loosely, very loosely. But yeah,
another one that came to mind, and this is kind of opinion based, I will say. There's 2 that come to mind. They're both young, so I don't think they fully qualify. I think they have more room to go. Roddy Ricch is someone that I saw more recently.
Yeah, I see a lot of discourse around that.
He had a pretty strong first album.
Oh yeah, dude. That
I enjoyed it.
Pardon me for being antisocial or something like that.
Yeah. It was very well done. For someone who came out the blue, I thought it was fantastic. Yeah. I didn't know about it.
Yeah, no, I didn't know about Dude at all, but I really like that album too.
And so since then, there hasn't really been anything that's met that level. I'll say that.
I mean, I liked his feature on Donda, but...
Right. It's not bad, but it seems like he's not able to keep going what he was doing.
Yeah. Hey, would you maybe say... Oh... This is gonna be a wild one, and then we're gonna pull off from here because I don't think we'll be able to recover. Do you think Chance's career trajectory is like literally the opposite of Lil Baby?
Yeah.
Because I remember when Lil Baby came out, he was a very generic Young Thug clone that I could not tolerate.
I remember when I first learned about Lil Baby, him and Gunna were literally the same person. There was a point where I thought they were literally the same person.
Yeah, they were a duo
they
for
were
a
in
while.
a song together. Yeah, until I realized they were in a song together. It took me a minute to even separate the two voices.
Yeah.
But now, like,
where's Gunna?
He just came out with Drip Season 3.
Oh yeah.
It has some decent songs. I mean, it's got Pusha P in it. How do you feel about that?
I mean, I push P about that.
Yeah, that's definitely P. Which is definitely a TikTok song. Jeez.
Yeah.
But now that moving forward, him, Lil Baby, has had a fantastic career.
Yeah.
He's really been able to shine as an artist. So I think he surpassed anyone's expectations of mine.
100%. Like, my expectations for Lil Baby were, like, ground zero. Like, I never hated dude, but, like, he was just...
Right.
He was a ripoff of an artist I was kind of ambivalent about to begin with. But he has really blossomed into someone who, like, I really, really admire. So, yeah, I would say that is my hot take to close out our conversation on Miss One Chancellor. Is that he has the exact opposite career as...
Yep.
As Lil Baby. Wow. We did it.
Right.
What if this whole time, like, we were, like, drawing on a chalkboard, like, math equations, like, and you subtract the Baby from the Chancellor rap album, multiply it by the square of Kanye.
By the square, and here he comes introducing himself again.
All right, man. Why don't you tell me some of the what's been in your playlist this week? What are you listening to?
Okay, what have I been listening to recently? You know what?
Give me 3 tracks. 3 tracks, and give me a little sales pitch on all of them.
Okay. First track, I actually posted on my story today. This has been so good. I don't even know how to, like, pronounce his name or the song or anything. His name is Mavi. If you don't know him, now you know is Mavi. He is, I won't say a clone because that just sounds disrespectful. Like, everyone's their own person. But if you like Earl Sweatshirt, this is perfect. Very, very similar vibe, message, ideas, tones, everything is pretty much the same. He has a song on his album, Let the Sun Talk, called Chasm. And there's a line in there that just goes really hard. I recommend him as an artist, but I recommend starting off with that song. It's a very smoker song. That'll be my first one. My second one, I was actually just listening to it today at the gym. But my boy Travis is
My God.
Yeah.
We'll get to this.
Yeah, we'll get to that another episode. But, you know, it's hard for me to go without a little Travis Scott in my life here and there. I was listening to the album Honcho Jack Honcho, if you all remember that.
Oh my God, Travis Scott, Quavo?
Yeah.
How very 2018 of you. What's next? Did you listen to Mo Bamba? Like...
No, I won't do that. But I was listening to Motorcycle Patches. It's really good.
Wow.
So that's taking you back a little bit.
Wow, that takes me back to very obnoxiously loud Best Buy fucking parking lots.
Yeah, what can you do? There's some good memories back then.
Wow.
Okay, those two. I guess the third one, I'm going to tell you the last thing I added to my Vault playlist, actually. Let's see what I added. What's one of the last songs? It's loading up. Oh!
It's fine. I can just edit this.
I don't know if you listened to it yet. There was an album that Big Sean put out with Hit Boy. That whole album? Jesus. It is not long. It's not long at all.
Not long?
It's rather short.
Let me
tell you, it's hard.
I've never been a big fan of Large Sean.
Hey, I like Big Sean. I think he's put out some great stuff. Detroit 2 was decent.
Okay, I'll have to listen to it.
But
I have Detroit 2 saved in my library.
yeah.
Yeah, I should probably eventually listen to that.
But yeah, there's an EP that they put out with Hit Boy called "What You Expect." There is a lot of great songs, all good like pump up songs. He's got Bryson Tiller in there, Lil Durk, so it's some good stuff. Those would be my three. The last one you get a little EP, so I give you some extra.
Ooh, that's nice. So it's kind of funny that we're doing this now because like I don't know if you've heard of the show Peacemaker. It's that spinoff of like that superhero movie from last summer. But it has a bunch of like 80s rock on it, and I've been listening to a lot of that, so that's kind of dominating my my recommended like on repeat playlist. But I got 3 on here for you, right? The first one is actually going to come straight from a recommendation from you. You recommended me an album, and I just haven't stopped listening to it. And what was the name of it? God damn it, the name just escapes my fucking brain. It's Mick Jenkins' last album, Elephant in the Room.
It is so good.
And
so good.
Scottie Pippen has been consistently in my rotation since listening to that. Dude, that album is so good. I was playing a video game when I listened to it, and the second it was over, I just started it over. I just went, we're going right back to the beginning. Such a good album. Yeah, dude.
It's great.
Such a good album. Scottie Pippen, one of my favorite tracks. Goddamn, so good. Next one is an artist that's near and dear to my heart. I will evangelicize him every episode on this show. Put it on the board. And that is So Cool by one Mr. Big Crit.
Yes.
Yeah,
you've been talking about this a lot.
Well, dude, it's really got to be my favorite single track so far this year.
It's good. It's really good.
And then the music video, I'm a sucker for anything vintage 70s. I'm a sucker for anything that kind of aesthetic to it. It kind of feels like a more rappy version of Silk Sonic, and like, what's not to love about that?
I'm sad that I haven't listened to that. You're going to be mad.
God, you got to listen to Silk Sonic, man. And Silk Sonic's really good. And you should, because like if they don't do another one, everyone's going to forget about it.
I know, I have a lot of albums on it.
Yeah, I know. Well, you got to get through it now. You have a reason to. Last song that's like deep into my rotation right now is Best Friends from The Weeknd's Dawn FM. Debatably,
don't tell me about how you feel about that.
No, that's going to be an episode eventually. That's going to be an episode about that entire album because I think it's incredible. But that song specifically just has like the fattest bass line I've heard in a good long time. I think it's fair to say that the album lacks a lot of like the very lovably toxic elements of The Weeknd's, but that song is the one that's like on it. You know, like that's the one song that's like kind of feels more like a classic Weeknd track. So what I've been listening to a lot most. All right. Purvis, we did this for an hour and 36 minutes.
Yeah, we went over.
It's fine. Nah, I'm not worried. That's not too long. No, that's the wonderful thing about podcasts. Yeah. I mean, I knew an hour was ambitious.
I don't know why I didn't think we would reach an hour. I was just tweaking, probably.
Yeah, no, we could do an hour easy, but like hour and a half, like long content's better.
Reach.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I don't know.
Still have to decide.
We got like figure out like how we do intros and like how we do outros.
Yeah. But like, intro music, outro music.
Because like I'll put our socials like in the description, but like do you want to like say your socials? I'm Tony Fugazi on Twitter and Brandon Scavone, all lowercase, on Instagram.
I should probably know my stuff. On Twitter, I'm Some Simple, so SUMN _ simple. It's my Instagram. Oh, literally the same thing. Look at me being a professional.
Wow. I do that so no one in my industry can find my Twitter.
Okay, you might be on something.
Yeah, well, it's
business. What are they gonna do?
Yeah, what you gotta do. You know, I just don't know if these multi-million-dollar brands want someone who yells at the Fox News anchors all day. Like,
I guess that's something you do. See, I don't do that.
I just don't like those people, man. But yeah, that was wow. This was the first episode of the Unpaid Nobodies Podcast.
We made it.
Wow, we got
more to go.
we got to come up with a way to like sign off. But until then, I guess it just kind of ends.